Okay, hello there. This is my part one video of the Battlestar Galactica Viper Mark II. This is a Revell kit from the Mobius kit, and as you can see, this is not my voice from the video. Basically, I've got the cockpit all fibered up, running the fibers into the cockpit, and I've heat shrunk the fibers to various LEDs. I've got a red and blue flasher, a green, I think the green's a flasher, a red, and some blues. I think there's about 4 LEDs in total. And I've heat shrunk the bunches of fibre optics to that and fed them into the dials. Now, these are the LEDs that I got. I got them on eBay. They're pre-resisted, and they've got they're up to a 12-volt supply, and I'm opting to go for 9. They were quite cheap, really. So yeah, so I've got, what was it, 1, 2, 3, 4 LEDs fed into the cockpit. And what I did was I sanded the top down of the LED and drilled in slightly so that there's a pocket for the fibre optics to go, and heat shrunk them on, wrapped them with some insulation tape, and then I proceeded to smear some PVA on them as well to hold them down. Now, the reason for this build is, I've built one prior, but a very close friend of mine saw my previous one, and he was very happy. He liked it, and he basically said, "Do you want? You know, if I decide to do another, he'll have it." As you can see, I'm not like just a random pair of hands pointing at things, but videos from now on will have proper sync sound. This is my first one, and I kind of screwed it up. But basically, he explained to me that his wife loves Battlestar Galactica, and she'd love the Viper. So I'm building this for him and for her, primarily. So, Paul, if you're watching, hello, mate. Don't tell Sharon yet. So, cockpit's basically done, and it's going to sit into a fuselage half, which is I primed and then gave it a coat of matte black inside, and it basically sits into the fuselage half with the LEDs nestling in the front end of the fuselage. It's a bit of a tight squeeze, but it fits, and I know that many people out there have built this model kit in a far more detailed manner, I suppose you could say. I mean, this kit won't have photo etch in it. I'm going to try and see how much I can glean from the kit as it stands. It's going to sit. Here we go. It's going to basically nestle. It's going to seem fumbling like a bit of a donut. Come on, in you go. In you pop. There you go. There's also another LED mount going into the front of the cockpit that illuminates the screen. I can sort of rest the cables above and below the pin, which gives me the LEDs bunched up in that front section. And I can take the master leads out back under the cockpit and out into the stand. Now, I mean, there's no two ways about it. I do sound much more boring, I think. Not that I'm a particularly fun guy, but I do sound a bit more boring doing it VO method, voiceover method. And I'm not going to be doing this in further builds because I'm running out of things to say whilst watching the video back. So I'm going to pause and have a think. okay, I'm going to continue. Despite the fact I've got nothing to say, even though I've done a build already, or the video already. So, yes, here you can see everything fits quite nicely indeed, considering that I've probably done it in a far too big way. I'm not using magnet wire or anything like that. I've just using what I've got, and if I basically test it all out, thankfully it all worked quite nicely, and here we go. You kind of can see, or can't you? Hang on, as I'm adjusting my own playback video that I'm watching so that I can focus it a bit better, so I can see what I'm actually doing. Yes. Okay, it lights up nicely. These side walls have yet to go in. This is all just mock-ups. Come on, you can do it. Come on. Come on. Okay, so here we have the pilot. Armless, headless pilot. It's going to be Starbuck. It was either Starbuck or Apollo in the kit, effectively. And, you know, Apollo was good, Starbuck was good. But, you know, Apollo had the advantage, obviously, of his dad getting him into flight school or whatever it was, you know. So I figured to myself, I'm going to do Starbuck. She was apparently the better pilot, so that was my choice there. What else we got going on here? What's this bit? What's that bit? That's the helmet. That's the head. My colour, I'm sure my colours are off. It's kind of, I know it's kind of more of a gold, but mine turned out, I mixed a bit of metallic silver with some yellow and I think something else, I can't remember now. I'm not overly enamoured with the colour of the pilot. I know some people have done some amazing colours on the you know, the flight suit. So that's the underside. That's how the stand's going to mount. So I'm going for an aluminium tube. I've seen everyone's builds where they use a tube and they run the cables in it. So that's what I'm going to do here. And it seems to work quite nicely. I think I'm going to do that. I can see why everyone does it now. Yeah, it just seems to work. The only thing is I haven't completely figured out a mounting method for the stand to the plane yet. And there's loads of information out there, and I haven't really hunted as much as I could do. A lot of people's builds, they just mention they're making a stand, and you don't actually see how they've done it, and you just see the stand at the end. So I'm gonna figure this one out. In the meantime, I'm epoxying the rod into the component, and you know, it seems to work. I'm gonna trim a smaller piece that this rod will fit into. That's only about 1/2 inch. That's what I'll glue into the fuselage, and then the plane, you know, the model will sit on top of, you know, the tube will the mounting tube will sit inside the other one. Now what I'm pointing at there is what am I pointing at there? Ah, yes, I've put some little details, extra details, a little bit of wire, some wire core in and around the engine, a bit like the photo etch mimics. So that's it, what I've done so far there. And this is the one that my friend saw that, you know, sparks him off. I'm aiming to do a better job than that. I mean, I've got quite nice weathering. Model Guru helped me out quite a lot with his videos on his Viper build for the streaking and the oil wash. And the weathering, I have to say, I'm pleased with. And but I forgot to put the pilot in. So the canopy doesn't have a pilot in there, even though it should do. And the control stick, which is in the pilot's hand, is also not there. So it was a learning curve, and it worked out quite well. I mean, the scratching method, I painted the scratches on. I think I would like to do that to this one. The scratching, but not necessarily in the same style. Oh, I'd like to do the hairspray or something like that, or salt method if I can. So yeah, okay. And this is the other bit of voiceover that works. Okay, here we have the lights test in the cockpit. Pretty pleased with how it's turned out, actually. Never done it before, and I'm actually pretty amazed at how it's come out. Got a blue and red flasher, 2 LED, so you've got two fibre optics there. Solid blue, solid red, a green flasher, which gives 2 points. I think one of them's hidden by the closer part of the fuselage covering that panel. Yeah, so all in all, not bad. So that's just a quick one. Okay, bye-bye. So here we are with the lights out, and as you can see, some lights in the cockpit. Admittedly, if I'd gone photo etch, I think this might have been a more elaborate cockpit. But my first dabble with fibre optics, I wanted to do one thing at a time. Yeah. Okay. It needs touching up on the top edge of the screen. It needs a bit of blacken top and bottom. Otherwise, I think that's going to be okay. Yeah, I'd say the little green flasher on the right hand side underneath the screen. You can see that one there. That is tending to go flash white green as opposed to green off. That's probably because of the LED behind the screen. But that works for me. So yeah, so that's the hard part over, and then I've got the engines to cope with. So again, I've not done anything with major lighting, so I'll do I've got the engines to show you next. So from that sort of angle, it looks alright, even though obviously it's really too bright on this thing. But obviously the hotspots emerge when you realise I've just drilled holes and put the LEDs in. A bit too bright there. Let me turn the lights on, it might make it less. Yeah, sorry about that. So there we see. Still not most visible, but obviously the hotspots, you can see the difference. And sorry about the light situation. I've currently got them just as 3 separate LEDs. And I'll group all the reds and the blacks together to make one branch lead. Once it goes in the model, something like there, I think, thereabouts. They'll all go underneath. Sort of thing, like so, that thereabouts. Group them together with these two, which are coming from the cockpit area. Make a connection about sort of something like there. So I've just got 2 straight leads, and those leads can go down the hole. And they'll come out the bottom into the base. At least that's the plan anyway. Okay.